Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Kelly's Creative Dream Studios. And it is Tag Tuesday, which means we are making a tag today. Now, there is one little caveat to today's video, and that is I did see this idea on someone else's video, and I thought I had saved it to tutorials. I have gone back through my watch history for the last 2 months, even though I know I just saw this a couple of weeks ago, and I just can't find it. So, I do want to give credit to somebody. So, when I can find the link to that video that I got this idea from, I will link it in the description box below, and I'll let you know when that link is available. Now, I'm calling this a French door tag with a hidden pocket. So, and I want to use the Enchanted Oceans collection from Sarah Davies, because I looked last night, we are halfway through the month, and no one has entered the nautical themed challenge on Spectrum Art Creations. So, let's do this. Now, before I do that, someone had asked in my video comments from yesterday, maybe? Yeah. That I used a puff ball, cotton ball, and baby powder to get away from the glue. Now, I've showed you in that one that I used my Stampin' Puff, but I also mentioned the baby powder or cornstarch with a cotton ball. Now, you can use a cotton ball. I use this giant pom-pom, and I have baby powder in here, and you just knock off a lot of it and just dab it on there. Dab it over your glue spot. Now, I've got a glue spot up here where the hang tag was at, and I'm just going to pounce that off. Might need a little bit more because that was quite a bit there. And if this is, unless this is a really dark paper, you're not even going to notice that sticky for the most part, and you can always put something over top of it. So we're going to use this, and I have pulled out paper today from this collection. We are going to use this one. However, this is a 12 by 12. We only need a 6 by 6. So if you want to focus on a particular area, you need to cut this down in a particular way. And yes, it requires math. Now we're going to start, this is the way we're going to use it, but we're going to turn the paper this way, and we're going to take it off at the 6-inch mark, and that's going to give us our baseline, okay? Now we have our 6 by 6, or we have our 6 by 9. So we need to take, I have this figured out, we need to take 3 inches off of each side. So we're going to take 3 off there, and we're going to take 3 off here. And the reason I did it from either side was because it let me keep my center here, okay? So we have this. Now, to make our doors, we need to score this at the 1.5 inch mark from either side. So we're going to come in at the 1.5 inch and score. And because, you know, math is not my thing on some things, I'm just going to flip it around, and I'm going to score at 1.5 inch from the other side. And that's pretty much all we need for our base. But we're going to need a pocket. So I'm going to come in with, looking to see which of these scraps I want to use. I think I want to use this one. And I'm going to cut this down to 2 inches first. Now, I think this is 3 inches. It is. But if we put that in here between this fold, it's going to not really allow your doors to close well. So we're going to take just a breath off of each side. Now, it's going to come out to be a little narrower than 3 inches, and that's fine. Gives you some breathing room, and that's why I say we're just going to cut off a breath. Okay, and that's all we're going to need our trimmer for. We are done with our trimmer. Now, there are several things you can do for this. I'm going to start by making my thumb notch, and I'm just going to kind of eyeball center it. Now, you see this perma marker mark here? That shows that that is halfway up the mark, and I'm just going to run my paper to that point, and punch. And that's pretty much going to center that all the way around. So now we have that. Now, let's go back to our base. We'll come back to our pocket in a minute. Let's come back to our base. On those score lines, we're going to fold in. Actually, I want to go this way. Okay. Take my bone folder and burnish that really good. Turn it around and bring this the other way. And now you have a 3 by 6 inch pocket. Now I'm using my Spectrum Art Creations tag template, and I'm using it on the 1.5 inch side to make my corners. Okay. I love this little tag template thing. Sure, I could make one on my own. One of the gals I was watching this morning uses an old credit card or key card for hers, and she just whopped off corners on either side, around the corners. But I really like my tag template. Number one, because it has the hole, so I'd hang it up and not lose it. Number two, it is clear except for the Spectrum Art Creations logo in the center, so I can see. If I want to try and center that around something, I can see through the plexiglass. So I really like that tool. And I will link any tools that I have that are still available. I will link them in the description box below. Now, what shall we ink this with? I think I want to use a blue. So let me pull out my blues. And actually, to do that, I'm going to take a piece of this and I'm going to run it across my Stampin' Up paper, and see if I find one that looks like it might match. And actually, I think it's going to be, found the one I want, I think. I think I want to go ahead and use Pacific Point. Pacific Point. It's a really deep ocean blue, so we're going to use that color of ink. So in my box, I have them labeled by alphabet, LMNOP, so that's not going to be in that box, it's going to be in this one. And there's my Pacific Point. And in this box with my daubers, I have my Pacific Point dauber at some point. And they're technically in alphabetical order, though they tend to move around. I've not made dividers in the boxes yet. So I'm going to use my Pacific Point and go around the edge and distress this a little bit. Okay. And I'm going to do the same here. I think I'm about due for a new dauber. Starting to shed. Okay. So there's that edged. Let me come back with this. Somebody asked where I got this. This is a We Are Memory Keepers. I got it at Hobby Lobby back in the art department. However, up in the freestanding kiosks up near the front of the store, I found some of these the other day, and they look like little critters, but they work the same way. You get our fuzzy inks out of the way. And when you're done, you just twist the bottom off. Should have waited till it quit spinning. And you just dump it in the trash can. Now, this is a rechargeable, much like and you can use your blue, it comes with a charger, but you can use any of your Bluetooth devices. So, you know, if you lose yours like I did, you can just plug it in and charge it. Now, I've not charged this in months, so it does hold the charge quite a long time. Okay, we have this, and I have a mess all over the desk already. Keep looking down here thinking I see a cat, but I don't have a cat out today. Tabby's in the bedroom pouting because I haven't fed her breakfast. So let's go ahead and put this on the inside. Okay. Just like that. And I'm going to center it on there so I've got that breathing room on either side. Line it up with the bottom. And there we go. Now, how do we keep this closed? You can do this a myriad of ways. You could do a coin envelope type of closure on here. You could do, I know what I'm thinking. And I'm not thinking very well. Just a little bar across the top. But here's what I'm going to do. I have gone through and I have cut out some of the items from this. And I think I want to use that. And so I'm going to dust him too. Yep, definitely time for some more, for a fresh fuzzy here. Whoops. If you don't get that lid on there right, get that bottom on there right, it's not going to run. So unscrew it and re-screw it back up. Okay, now we have this. And we have this. Now you want to make sure this is burnished really well. And here's another trick. Just kind of lightly bow it and play with it a little bit. This way and this way, and it'll help give that some closure. And now we're going to put this on here, but we're only going to glue it to one side, okay? And it really needs a little bit of weight to it, so where did I put that? Let's glue this on here really quick. And I could look for a smaller one, smaller piece of this blue paper, but in the interest of time, I'm just going to use this bigger one and create yet another scrap, but I'm going to glue him down here close to the edge. Because I'm not worried about having a border, but if a border shows, that's fine. My main concern is just to have a little bit of weight on here. And one of the reasons I chose this is because it's an easy cut. Easier with my cheaters. Let's do that. So we're going to come in here. And we're just going to trim around this pretty close. Okay. Because just the paper itself wasn't going to be enough weight to hold that door closed. We needed something with a little oomph to it. And we're going to have to come back and re-ink this, but that's okay. We can shed some more. I am going to come back in here, and I'm going to come up underneath this one and just chop him off right under there and bend that back down so he's closed. Just like this. Now I realize that fussy cutting is not everybody's thing. I get that. There are some days it's not something I want to do either. But if you're talking about large pieces like this with a lot of straight lines, it's really easy to do. It's not the intricate stuff, but it does make a difference. Okay? So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to position this jellyfish right up here. Okay, and we're going to glue him. If you're not sure where to glue, position him where you want him. Okay? And then very carefully open this up and take your pencil and without moving it, make a little mark. And that's going to show you to keep your glue on which side. So we're going to come back in with our glue and we're going to glue on this side of the line. And if we go over the line a little bit, that's fine because it's going to help cover that line. If you don't cover the line and it bugs you, you can always come back and erase. But I'm going to close this And then I'm gonna lay that right there. I think we did that pretty well. Did that pretty well. Now, we are gonna take a little bit of a corner off of these, and I'm gonna come back to my smallest, because I just want just a nip off of there. Let's do the 1/2 inch. Okay. And we'll take that 1/2 inch off. Just like this. Now the gal that I watched that I got this idea from, she has a template available that is just this, that you can download and use. Use your math skills. Use your math skills. Okay, so now we have those, and I'm going to hang my templates back up so I don't lose them. I hang them on a little S-hook. You can get in any garden supply store or on Amazon, and it's great for hanging up your tools. I just hang it off my camera mount up here. Okay, so now the reason I did that is because I want to come back in with my quarter punch, and I'm going to go pretty deep into there, just like that. And then I'm going to come in and see what I have for and I thought I had some. I can't wait to get this all bound so I don't have to dump everything out. I thought I had some of the seam binding in a blue, and it's what I'm looking for. That one. Okay, might not be the exact blue, but it'll work. It's a blue. It pairs with one of the many blues in here. And I'm going to make some noise as I put this away. Sorry. Bob got me this big jar. They run about $35 to $40 at Hobby Lobby. Bob got it free at the dump. It was just sitting off to the side. People bring in dishes and exercise equipment and bedding, and usually there's nothing wrong with any of it. They've just cleaned out somebody's house. And instead of putting it in the bin, they set the big stuff off to the side in case somebody wants it. So I have this really starch blue. I could have used the gold too, but I really like this blue. So I'm going to cut about, maybe about 4 inches off of there. Okay. And I am just going to, now I think, I'm going to set this aside for a minute. We have some time. I'm going to bring my pressing mat down here. It's a coffee cup pot holder, but this part works really well. And I thought I had one here that was different that I would prefer to use. Well, maybe not. Makes a good press pad for over here by the, on the craft table. Trying to untangle my iron here. And I have this cute little iron. This is by Smart Tech. It's a mini iron. It's recharge. I mean, you plug it in and charge it, and then you can unplug it and still use it. But I'm just going to let it sit there for the time being while we make our tag for inside of our pocket. And it will not take that long to warm up. So our pocket is roughly 2 3/4, but we have to allow for that glue on the inside. So I'm going to go 2 3/8 by 5. Okay, 2 3/8 by 5. And let's use another piece of this. And actually, I think we can trim this one down and it'll fit on the inside. And yes, I could have done a contrast, but I'm really going with the all blue thing here. So we're going to make sure this is 2 3/8. 1 2 3/8. And I want to try and center that, so I'm going to take and chop some off here. Come back here, the 2 3/8, and chop off this side. And by 5. What did we say, by 5? Was that right? Five and a quarter. I think 5 1/4. Let's do that 5 1/4. Take that off there. Now I know we're done with that. And I am going to use my template again and chop off the corners of this tag. That's too big. Yeah, let's go with the go with that one there. What did I do with my scissors? Okay, just had my orange handled scissors. And I've lost them. Oh, there we go. Now I have a couple other more intricate tags coming up. And they're probably not going to be till the 1st of August. Because I think, as it stands right now, I will be going to Kentucky and Tennessee next week. And so if I get videos, if I want to get videos up for you while I'm gone, they have to be pretty simple. Okay, so let's go back with this one. And find a rough center. And this one I want to make polar reinforcers for, so I'm going to whip this corner off here. And we're going to make them the dark blue so they'll match. And this is how we do our hole reinforcers. Use your standard office 1/4 inch punch, just like that. And then come back with your 1/2 inch hole punch, center it over top of your 1/4. And now we have our hole reinforcers. Just that simple. Okay, let's try to do this without getting glue everywhere. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put the glue around the hole best I can. Put my hole reinforcer in place. Okay. Now, I do have something else I want to do to this. Let me bring back in our pocket. Trying to pick stuff up this morning. Okay. Now, this, I have this white rickrack in my stash that I want to use. And I'm start by getting rid of this teeny tiny pin. And I want to put this not all the way across. I could put it here and snap that open. I thought about here, but I'm afraid if I put it here, it's going to interfere with that wanting to close smooth. But you know what? No guts, no glory. We'll figure it out. Okay. So now I'm coming back in with my glue. And remember, this is my good crafting glue. It's called Crafter's Pick. And I get mine at Hobby Lobby. And I just use the edge of my my silicone spatula. And you can get these by the sets and Spectrum Art Creations. And I'm just going to give myself a dab. Just like that. And I really need to put that someplace that it's not going to stick everywhere for a minute. Okay. And then we're going to come back and add that bit of rickrack. And if you'll see, it's sticking out over the edge over here. So I'm going to come back in with my scissors and I'm going to trim that off really close, just like that. Doesn't take much. Okay. So far we're here. Okay, now let's see. I think it's warm enough. I can press this out. Because what I want to do is I want to open this up, and to help encourage that, I'm going to spritz it a little bit with just plain water. And then I'm going to... These little irons are not expensive, and this would probably press out better if it was hotter, but I'm trying to get through this morning. We're at 25 minutes already. Okay, so we've got that. And then I'm just going to cut this up the center so that it's not as wide. Okay, and then I'm going to put it through here. And I could have used a white or a even a lavender ribbon would have worked. Seam binding would have worked, but I had some. Okay, so there's that there. Move this out of the way. Try not to knock everything else off as I move this out of the way, so I can put this back over here to dry. Now, I brought white thread over here yesterday to use to tie these off after I did all of my I got all of my, see, that wants to stick, so let's snip it off a little bit with our corner rounder. Again, a Hobby Lobby purchase, cutest little punch you'll ever use. And remember, chipping off the nipping off the corners lets it slide smoother in and out of your pocket. Now, I cannot find that white thread right now, but here's what it did to me yesterday. I took the white thread and I tied that off, and what I should have done was put the knot in the back, and I think I can, there we go. And I just tied that closed with a little bit of very thin baker's twine. And that's what I will do with these, so as I figure out where I laid it yesterday. And there's our tag for Tag Tuesday. Thanks for joining me in the studio today. I will see, I will see you back here on Friday. Not sure what we're doing, but I'll be back here on Friday. Remember to like, to share, subscribe, and creative blessings.